Many years ago, when I was in college, we used to have a print quota. Every semester, we had a certain number of pages of paper we could print at the printer at school. And one day, I was in a hurry to print something, and I didn't realize that the computer was already logged in. I was in such a hurry that it didn't occur to me it hadn't logged in. And I went to print some papers. I was working on a problem called Ramsey theory, and when I went to the printer, I couldn't find my printout, and I thought that was odd. And when I went back to the computer, because at the corner of the screen, it would show you the queue for the printing, how many more printouts until yours comes out. And I noticed, oh my God, it's somebody else's account. And it turns out the username was JIF4. JIF was the guy's initials. And so I went back to the print station to pick up my printout. And so I had accidentally stolen some of this guy's print quota. A good thing is he had a lot of papers, so he probably wasn't going to miss it. But I thought it was really funny that I had accidentally stolen some print quota. And I went to talk to a friend of mine about this, and he said that I had jiffed this guy because of the username JAF. So after that event, we call it jiffing people when we rip people off. Because jip is not really politically correct, right? It's making fun of a certain group of people. But jiff, well, the guy kind of deserved it, right? I later learned that, because my friend convinced me to email this guy and to apologize. And we did, and I later learned that this guy really loves to smoke marijuana. So maybe he was high at the computer lab and he forgot to log out. So we thought he deserved to have his name, to have a term about scamming people named after him. So that was good. That same year, I was watching a music video of Elton John's song Nikita, and around the same time, I started dating girls from the region of the area that Elton John's Nikita is from. And so I gave girls from that region a funny nickname of Nikita. And also the area of the world, it's a rather large area actually where girls look like that. I call it Nikita Land when I go on vacation in those areas. Oh, I'm going to Nikita Land this summer, right? I would say something like that. 3 years ago, when I first moved into my car, I was living out of my car. One day I had heard on the radio a little commercial about State Farm insurance. I didn't have State Farm at the time for my car insurance, but they were talking about combining your home, your car, and your life insurance. And it was really funny when the commercial said home, car, life, because I had combined all of those in my own situation, right? It's my home, my car, my life, all at the same place. And so ever since then, the concept of living in your car, I call it a home, car, life. Right, and at one point I wanted to be buried in my car after I died, but I've since discovered other nice places to have my ashes scattered after I die. Especially, I love to view the night sky over in Ellensburg. I can't do that right now because of the quarantine, but I'm excited about going back, and I want some of my ashes to be scattered there after I die. The only problem is that I don't think the transit of Venus in 2117 is visible from Ellensburg. So I want some of my ashes to go somewhere where that event is visible as well. I quit drinking soda 16 years ago, and I had lost a lot of weight at the beginning. And one day, my friend was asking me how I had lost so much weight. The problem is, when I went to see my friend, he was drinking a soda as he was talking to me, and I didn't want him to spit out the soda, as soon as I told him. So I told him that I had SDS'd without telling him what it means. It means stop drinking soda. But it became a funny joke because he thought it meant that I had taken some kind of a prescription drug to help me lose weight or do something crazy, right? He thought it was like some kind of drug. And it took after a few days, I told him what it meant. And the nice thing about it is, I wanted him to treat not drinking soda as something that you can just do, right? Not something that's commercialized. Because when people talk about quitting smoking, right, there's a whole industry surrounding it. It makes quitting smoking seem like a monumental task when it really just involves putting down the cigarettes and never looking back, right? I didn't want the idea of not drinking soda to become that. So that's why I really love having a funny terminology to it. He doesn't have to treat it like it's an institution of any sort, right? All he has to do is to SDS, right? Speaking of bad habits, a few years ago. I used to have a binge eating problem. I'm still dealing with it. But I really despise the word binge. So I came up with other terminologies to use when I would go on my binge eating episodes. I would call it going on an eating spree. See, you don't say somebody went binge shopping, right? You say they went on a shopping spree. And so I would call it an eating spree, or sometimes I would say it was an eating festival, right? That was another one of my terms that I love. Um, when I first moved to Rochester, New York, my first day going to school, I was riding a bicycle, and at the entrance of the campus, there's this huge hill you have to climb up there. And by the time I got to the top of the hill, I was exhausted. But I was really excited because that day on the way home, I could race down that hill going 30 miles an hour easily, right? So the whole day, that was all I could think about. And finally, we get out of class, and I get on that hill, and I race down that hill, and I barely make that turn at the end of the hill. And I gave that hill a funny nickname. I called it the Gravity Expressway. And every time I have a hill anywhere that I could ride a bicycle really fast, I call it going down a Gravity Expressway. And one time somebody on a bicycle asked me for directions. And I said, oh, just down the Gravity Expressway over there. And he instantly understood what it meant. He didn't laugh at me or anything. He just knew, and that was nice. More recently, I invented a new terminology for what it means to cause somebody a lot of trouble. So I'm recording this on May 1st of 2020. 6 months ago, some rich guy in Wuhan decided it was a good idea to eat a bat, and as a result, we're all locked up in our homes right now. So from now on, to eat a bat means to do something really stupid to cause a lot of people trouble, right? So if you jiff people at the print quotas, and as a result of the campus shuts down all the printing, you're said to have eaten a bat. Thanks for watching.